Welcome back to another episode of Wicked Hot Movie Mayhem, everybody. This is John.
And Kevin.
And as always, like every other week, except most weeks, sometimes we fuck it up. But
most weeks we fuck it up.
Yeah. We posted on the Instagram. Kevin, what do we post and what is this week's topic?
We posted a picture of Michael Keaton in Batman Returns or regular
It is Batman Returns.
Okay.
It is Batman Returns.
So yeah, this week we are doing, and I don't know how the fuck this was gotten, but we're doing Christmas holiday movies that aren't specifically Christmas movie. I don't know how to explain this any better.
So I guess the best way to say it's holiday movies that have non-holiday related themes, and then movies that aren't considered holiday movies that we can consider holiday movies and why.
Okay.
And as always, guys, Kevin and I will be doing 2 for 2 each. So 2 holiday movies with non-holiday elements, and then 2 non-holiday movies that we think are holiday movies. And we're going to throw around Christmas and holiday. But for me, it's mostly Christmas movies. So I don't know.
Me
if
too.
it's the same thing.
Let's just say Christmas movies.
Okay, because they are for Christmas. So yeah, guys, grab your bucket of popcorn and candy canes and let's get into it in 3, 2, 1.
Wicked smart, wicked cool, wicked fucking stupid, whatever the fuck. Something wicked.
I'm baking like a toasted Caesar. It's so hot here.
My boy's wicked smart.
Cause the boy is hotter than hot. He's hot, hot, hot.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Before I even was going to do this film, I had to make sure that I wasn't the only one who, without a doubt, thought of this as a Christmas movie, and it's Gremlins.
I've never seen Gremlins. I've never had any interest in seeing this movie, ever.
Why?
Well, first off, when I was a kid, the Gremlins terrified me. Like, the poster of it, I always saw it at Blockbuster. And the picture
wasn't
of the
it
Gremlin...
the box? What was it?
It was...
It was like a box with like a hand on it, right? Or
No,
something like that.
it was a little gremlin and then like a spotlight or a light on the gremlin or something. And it always terrified me. And I saw trailers for it. And when the gremlins turn into like the mean fucks, no, I was out. And then now as an adult, it's just too campy for me. I can't go back and watch it.
Oh, man. Well, not only does it take place during the most wonderful time of the year, no pun intended, but there are plenty of scenes in this movie that remind you that it's 100% a Christmas movie. I had to ask a lot of people because I myself was under the impression that it could have fallen under other films that are not really Christmas movies but happen to take place during Christmas. Although, personally, if it takes place during Christmas or the holidays, I kind of constitute that as a Christmas movie. That's just me.
I think so, yeah.
But, and I guess this isn't really a hot take anymore, considering you kind of just said it, is that this is basically a horror movie with an underlying Christmas theme back in 1984.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, most people may also see it as a comedy, considering it's got the hokey monster characters doing stupid stuff. Like, they end up getting like super shit faced. They go to the movies. They're singing carols. And they're doing other things people love to do during the holidays.
Do you know anyone who's ever actually done caroling before? Because I've never seen it in my life. But it's in every single holiday movie or holiday theme movie.
I think it only happened one time in my neighborhood, and of course it was like a group of like all white people.
Do you slam the door in their face?
No, I think my dad for some reason relishes in dumb shit like that.
Oh, so he's still. I
think he listens just
awkward.
to embarrass me.
It would
he
be
listens
so
just
awkward.
to embarrass us.
I couldn't stand there while they sing an entire song.
Oh no, he could, and then he just kind of does it in a mocking way, like, very good, very good. But no, I've never seen Carolers aside from maybe that, and I could just be remembering that from a movie, because you're right, it's in every movie, and yet no one has ever, in the history of caroling, except for maybe like the 1880s, has been going around and singing carols. Just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
but it's a funny thing that I think you all will see that this episode, somehow Chris Columbus is tied to at least 3 of our movies. And Gremlins is no different, as Chris Columbus originally was slated to direct this film as a true horror movie. But then we had Steven Spielberg jumping in, adding the family-friendly aspect of it. So Christmas and cute furry animals turning into evil monsters is what I guess the family-friendly aspect was. The one thing with horror movies is that there's always a rule. In this case of the movie, it's don't feed them past midnight and don't get them wet. Everyone knows the one thing for a horror movie, there's always some sort of rule that you can't break or you have to follow. And Gremlins is absolutely no different. They also have a pretty awesome kill with a character called Mrs. Deagle. So she's like the quintessential cranky old person who hates Christmas and who has a stair lift. I feel like that's like an old person thing, is to have the stair lift.
Oh, definitely old person, but also semi-white trash.
Why so? What?
Oh, yeah, because you can get insurance to pay for that. A lot of white trash people get that.
Is that a fact?
Yes. I mean, it's my fact, but just an observation.
Do a lot of white trash people own like 2-story homes?
I don't know. I would assume.
Well, I
so,
mean,
to
you would
have all
only
these
need
stair things.
But yeah, they end up killing her because they screw around with the wires in there, and it blasts her off like up the stairs, and it shoots her out like, I guess, a foyer window and kills her, just like out the second floor window, just dead.
Wow.
So I want to get into the fight between Billy's mom, and that's our main character's mom, and the Gremlins when they invade her home. And it's a scene right out of a horror movie. Kevin, I made you watch
Yes.
the 2 fight things.
I did watch it, yeah.
But first, I mean, we have her walking around with a knife, quiet house, searching for what made a noise. You see silhouettes of gremlins in other rooms. You have like that stringy, like Evil Dead kind of music, like
Yeah.
ring, 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 ring. And we even have like the thing where it's kind of like that jump scare where, oh man, you see something and there's clearly something in, like in this case, the stocking. There's something happening.
Yeah.
And she goes and she stabs the stocking and it's just like a fucking toy. And then the gremlins are in the Christmas tree behind her. They look like lights, and then they attack her. And I mean, it's straight out of a horror movie. And then we have the scene in the kitchen, and she kills 3 gremlins. She puts one in a blender. She kills another by fucking stabbing the shit out of it. And then the last one is great because it's in the microwave.
Yeah,
it
so
explodes.
I watched the scene. The one that she kills with the knife is not dead. It is struggling behind her for like the next scene.
It is it?
Yeah, like she let it suffer and it sat there like moving around. Yeah, because I saw that and I was like, that is a dick move.
I mean, this movie, I will say that I guess injuring was probably the most brutally violent of the ones, because it's, I don't know. I feel like with knives, it's like super personal. Like the other one, she just kind of like put him in a machine. The machine killed him.
Yeah,
but it's like the knife. You're like,
you got to get real close and you got to use your muscles to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to really think about the whole knife situation when you're killing somebody with a knife.
Oh yeah, and I mean, you know, people think it's a comedy, like that's like a Christmas movie. I mean, this is, it's more horror than anything. I mean, especially with those scenes. And then there's this other really, and honestly, I'd probably say it's the scariest one because it's just weird and fucking random. And I didn't show you this, but there is a scene in the movie where the main character, he has like this girl that he likes, and she's talking about, it's just like there's like a moment of respite after like they had been like amidst gremlins and interacting with them and running from them and stuff, and they're kind of taking a little break, and she's going about how, oh yeah, you know, I don't like Christmas because it reminds me of the time my dad died. And we're like, oh god, what's going on with this? So she talks about how her father died during Christmas because her dad wanted to surprise the kids as like Santa Claus. So he dressed up as Santa Claus and actually went down the chimney. And I think it was lit. And he just suffocated and died.
How I have to ask, how was the fireplace lit? Like, you would think you would coordinate with your wife and be like, "Hey, I'm coming down the chimney tonight." no pun intended.
Yeah. I don't know, but it was it's just a weird scene because for a kid, this kind of stuff, the violence and the other stuff, it isn't too bad because it evens it out with some pretty ridiculous stuff that the Gremlins do. But you have just this random scene where she's talking about nothing like magical killed him. He was just dressed up as Santa and went down a lit chimney, or he got stuck in I don't remember if it was a lit chimney or if he just got stuck in it and died. But either way, chimneys, I mean, come on.
If you've ever seen a chimney, it's like
They're
no
fucking
normal
small.
human being can fit down a chimney. There needs to be some type of magic involved in getting down a chimney.
Exactly, which is why Santa can do it.
Yeah.
Santa's real, guys. So I guess thoughts are, this is a Christmas movie, but I mean, we got the horror in there.
I'm going to take it to the opposite end of the spectrum with a 100%. This is a Christmas movie.
Okay, all right.
But I'm going to convince you that maybe it is some type of psychological thriller instead.
Ooh, I like it.
And I'm talking about The Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Get the fuck out.
So, pretty much first off, the movie starts with Tim Allen inadvertently killing Santa Claus by startling him falling off the roof, and then him literally just vanishing away.
Yeah, it's like a murder mystery cover-up. I could see where this is going.
Yes,
I like
yes.
it. I like it.
So, for whatever reason, Tim Allen puts on the clothes and assumes the identity of this guy.
Yeah, fucked up.
It is fucked up, and like if you inadvertently kill somebody, John, like at Starbucks, are you going to put on that guy's clothes and become a barista now? Like, no.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you're comparing Starbucks guy to Santa Claus.
Same thing.
It's not, because I would most definitely. Santa Claus has magic powers. So I think Tim Allen knew exactly what he was doing. He's like, this is my chance to wield some true power.
You think he was a sociopath?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, definitely. So he basically puts on the suit, assumes the identity of this guy, and now he's just parading as Santa Claus. The entire time, the entire movie, his ex-wife, his wife's new husband,
Judge Reinhold.
yes, everybody is trying to convince him to seek mental help, and it seems throughout the movie that he's pretty crazy.
Honestly, in his defense, though, I don't know if you've looked up how much these Santa Claus people make.
I don't know how much they
At the
make.
mall, they make fucking bank, bro.
Really?
There's a website where it's literally like a recruiting website for Santa Claus people, where you could
Damn.
just call up a Santa Claus, and these fucks could make, as far as hourly is concerned, a 6-figure kind of salary for the season.
Really? Wow.
I mean, these are some high roller Santas, so you have a spectrum, like in all jobs.
That's pretty impressive, and I assume that suit is somewhat expensive. So the fact that it just falls into Tim Allen's hands, he's like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna run with this."
Yeah, he's gonna make some bank.
Yeah, he's like, "I just scored $1,000 suit. I'm gonna make some money."
I can't remember the movie. Was he like in a financial bind at all?
No, he was
Okay.
He was pretty well off, upper middle class,
Okay.
I would say.
Okay. All right.
So this is kind of where the whole story kind of takes a turn for the darker. So instead of it being like, a happy, whatever, he starts to like have these physical mutations where he gains weight very fast. His facial hair grows out immediately after shaving it, and his hair turns gray like immediately after dyeing it. So he's not having a good time, and this is somewhat of a horror thriller subgenre right here.
It's like a Cronenberg movie, like a creature feature, like gross, like body transformation horror.
It is, instead of
Imagine the Santa Claus directed by David Cronenberg, like The Fly, fingernails falling off.
yeah, instead of like Tim the Toolman Taylor, he turns into like the Blob or something. Actually, it's kind of funny because the guy that created this whole movie was the guy that also created Home Improvement. So,
Oh, no shit.
and he worked with Tim Allen on a ton of other shit. Jungle to Jungle. He works on him with The Last Man Standing. Like, he works with Tim Allen all the time.
Jungle to Jungle is a fantastic 90s movie.
It really
I'm pretty
is.
sure also straight to VHS, if I'm correct in that.
Maybe
not.
Maybe.
I always remember it on the commercial to one of my VHSs. I just can't remember which one.
Probably Man of the House with Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
No, I never owned that. Actually, it might have been the Santa Claus VHS.
Maybe, yeah.
Which would make sense.
So back to Santa Claus. After all these horrible transformations, he's forced by these little elves to drive around town all night long, go down chimneys, and deliver presents to asshole kids. And he's forced to drink milk when he's lactose intolerant. That's like torture. It's like a torture.
I thought he gets rid of the lactose intolerance.
When he becomes Santa. I don't know if he actually does, because, I don't know if it does. I don't know if it takes away the lactose intolerance.
I feel like if you drink milk enough, you become you become tolerant.
You become lactose tolerant. All inclusive of the lactose. I don't know. I don't know. Let's say that he is still lactose intolerant. He's forced to drink milk.
So torture every Christmas time.
Yeah. And then the true villain of this movie is his child, Charlie. His sweet, innocent child. I disagree with that. Because at the end of the movie, somebody asks him, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he says, I want to go into the family business, basically saying that he wants to kill his dad and wear his clothes and become Santa.
Wear his skin and become Santa.
Yeah, Santa Claus 4 is going to take a dark turn.
So I thought Santa was kind of immortal.
Well, no, I don't think so.
Well. Yeah, I guess his son would actually have to murder him. But if he was like, oh, I'll just wait till my dad becomes old and dies, well, he's going to be old and Santa Claus for his whole life. Like, and by life, I mean, unless someone actually like offs him, like how he offed the previous.
Yeah, I wonder if you can only become Santa if you are the one that kills him. So it's like some type of
old gang.
Yeah.
Gang thing where you have to kill the leader and you become the leader.
Yeah. So maybe
respect.
Charlie's going to off his dad, become Santa. What if he did it when he was like 10? And he becomes like a fat old man, gray hair when he's 10 years old.
Maybe. Oh, you're saying he like kills him at 10?
Yeah. Yeah. Charlie is a dark motherfucker.
Because the only scenario I could think is if he like somehow got into alcoholism at 10 years old. And he's like, I need to go drink at 21. So he kills his dad to go to the bar. And then he just also assumes the mantle of Santa Claus.
Okay. And just
so, like,
says,
ages
fuck
him
it
to the appropriate.
Okay.
God, imagine growing that much. Like,
it'd be like a big situation.
It would.
Except for
a mess.
Not fun.
Not a mass murder. So you're saying the cliffhanger for the end of this movie is the son's intent to murder his father?
Yes. I think it's one of those psychological thrillers where you don't know who the bad guy is until the very end. And I think this is a prime example where Charlie is the baddest guy in the entire movie, wanting to kill his dad and assume his identity.
Doesn't he see his dad kill Santa?
Well, he's there when Santa falls off the roof, but he's already disappeared by the time. No, I think he does disappear when. So yeah, he does technically see his dad kill Santa.
Okay, so that's the thing. I think that the and this is to help your argument here, is to he was scarred by this. So throughout the entire movie, he gets more and more scarred. So now his normal response is that soon he must kill his father and assume the role. By the way, how many Santas do you think have died in the line of duty? I doubt that the one he killed was the first Santa.
Yeah.
And that he that line has ended.
Imagine if there's been like hundreds of thousands of Santas.
Do you think a Santa every 10 years?
Maybe.
Also, kind of like a curveball, do you think the Santa wanted to be killed? What if they're also just living a life? I mean, it's a life of slavery, essentially.
Yeah, but imagine only having to work like 2 days a year.
That's true. Maybe.
I mean, I could put in the 48 hours if I get, another couple 10,000 hours off.
That's okay. Maybe not because of working. Maybe that's his only escape. That's his purpose, right? It's like Agent Smith.
Right.
It's like once I've been devoid of my purpose, I don't know what to do with myself. So Christmas Eve, I'll give him like November 1st. He's like gearing up, getting ready for shit, all the way up to Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Afterwards, you go back and you're in the North Pole, isolated, with only like little small people that like don't understand you and that like kind of worship you as a god, and you're kind of like on your own. Although you got Mrs. Claus, so I guess there's that.
True, but he doesn't.
But like she only like bakes you cookies or something. Like
yeah.
Like what does Mrs. Claus? Like what does Santa and Mrs. Claus do?
She's a
on the
stay-at-home.
off season.
She's a stay-at-home wife. Makes cookies all day.
I
don't think she does anything. I don't think she has a job.
Because they have elves to do all their shit for them.
Talk about
like
slave labor. Yeah.
I know these elves have like Stockholm syndrome where they're like made to obey. Like they don't know anything but serving Santa Claus. I'm with you on this one, honestly. I feel like that's part of a movie's explained poorly.
Yes.
Like man murders Santa and takes up the mantle.
Maybe one day I'll do a cut of the Santa Claus and I'll turn it into a psychological thriller.
Ooh, like a trailer.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Next, I want to talk about arguably, and this time you can't like debate me on this one. It's one of the most known Christmas movies, and that's Chris Columbus's Home Alone.
Damn, that is one of my favorite Christmas movies.
So good. So good. I actually just watched it this week. I don't want to talk about what makes it a Christmas movie, though, because obviously we know that. Instead, I want to talk about how this is a also thriller / home invasion movie veiled as a Christmas movie.
Okay.
Like I said, I revisited this movie this week, and there were quite a few concerning things I noticed that I wouldn't have noticed as a kid. First, we get that precursor warning from Kevin's dickhead brother, Buzz, about the poor old neighbor who Buzz paints as a serial killer. He talks about how he uses the salt that he innocently uses to clean people's walkways and driveways, and how he chops up people's bodies and throws it in the salt and they become mummies, which is an interesting
Where did he get that science from?
I don't know. But we also see Kevin McAllister, and this is kind of where the thriller part starts. He gets all kinds of mental abuse by his family. And all this boils up to the moment where he essentially wishes his family away. Now, Kevin, you mentioned Satan in our fan theories episode, and after the wish that Kevin McAllister makes, there's a whole montage with some insinuation that some dark magical forces are at work to make his family quote unquote disappear.
Yeah.
So obviously we get the family leaves, they leave him alone. And Kevin McAllister is kind of fine. And honestly, John Williams doesn't help with making the score sound suspenseful and even with horror-like motifs.
Yep.
I think it just helps the argument that this is a thriller.
I always thought that score was a little dark. Even when I was younger, I thought it was dark for the movie.
Perfect. And I think this is the way Chris Columbus got some horror elements in a Christmas movie since he got shafted for Gremlins. I think this is how he did it. So once his family is away, we get a couple things Kevin fears, and it's not being alone, and it's the monster furnace in the basement.
Yeah.
Further adding to his delusions and twisting his mind. This is being alone. His family's gone. He wished them away maliciously. Also, Marissa mentioned this, but isn't it creepy and alarming the amount of mannequins there are in the McAllister household?
Yeah, I always wonder where he got the mannequins from.
So the mannequins are shown in the basement. And
why would they be there? Is anybody a designer? Like, what does the mom do?
I don't know, but they were like the kind of like dusty old mannequins that you just like throw things over if you have mannequins in a house. But the more and more I watched this film, I kept thinking Kevin McAllister is a serial killer because he's got mannequins in the basement. His family's gone. He's having like delusions of furnace monsters, and he's how old is he? 10 in the movie?
8.
Okay, for an 8-year-old kid, this fuck. First of all, he's a criminal. He shoplifted the toothbrush. Let's not forget.
Oh yeah,
and he is able to. Like, this is some serious sociopath. Like, no 8-year-old knows how to clip coupons and like shop for normal things. Clean clothes.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing laundry when I was about that young, but clipping coupons, I didn't understand any, like, that didn't make sense to me until I was in my fucking teens.
Also, he's an extremely good liar because when he's paying for the stuff at the grocery store, the clerk is where's your mom? And she's in the car.
He's fucking Johnny on the spot with the
he is
excuses.
with the excuses. So good.
Yeah.
Speaking of, he's good with things on the spot. He's malicious enough to, for whatever reason, threaten the pizza guy with death by using that old gangster movie. He's playing and pausing the scene to make a conversation.
I honestly, like, if a kid were to have answered the door and paid for the pizza, that would have been the end of it. The guy wouldn't have thought, like, whatever, who cares? Instead, this little kid has to torture this pizza delivery guy.
And it's not like the pizza delivery guy's with the bandits either.
Yeah.
He's just a guy. And even in the beginning of the movie, when he delivers the pizza, when like all the family's eating and stuff, he wasn't a dick about it. He delivered the pizza.
Yeah.
And left.
Yeah, that's why if a kid were to answer the door and collect the pizza, it wouldn't be anything. But instead, the guy, Kevin had to, he was like so socially awkward. He didn't want to have a face-to-face conversation with somebody where he's like, I got to fuck with this guy and I don't want to talk to him. And this is what he comes up with, like scarring this guy for life.
Yeah. I mean, it's super funny, and he uses it both for the pizza guy and a later scene with Daniel Stern where he actually takes fireworks to make it sound like the gunshots in the movie are happening in the house.
That's his go-to now.
Yeah.
That movie.
Yeah.
Because he uses it in the second one, too.
Yeah, that's right. He does. Speaking of which, when the Wet Bandits finally decide to break into the McAllister home, it becomes a labyrinth of death. And we really get to see Kevin's true colors.
Yeah. Jesus.
A non-psychopathic child could not come up with a game plan for all these traps. I mean, he burns Joe Pesci's head. He basically like makes Daniel Stern walk on like broken glass. They both get shot.
Daniel Stern gets shot in the dick with a staple gun.
No, I thought that's the second one, I think.
Is it the second one? It is the second one.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Joe Pesci gets shot in the dick with the BB gun.
Yes.
And
Daniel Stern gets shot in the face with the BB gun. Peeking his head through the...
He gets shot in the face, plus he gets a fucking iron on the head. That would have killed you.
Is that
First
the
of all.
second one?
No, the iron's the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
They
You're
just
confusing
run-
traps.
Yeah.
You're confusing traps.
So many traps.
Anyway, like
Oh,
I
also the
think-
micro machine thing. Like that's sinister to do the micro machines on the ground. And not only
the micro machines.
yeah, but he put the micro machines on the ground going up to the stairs so they would step on him.
Oh yeah, when they all like yeah, you're right. When
They
fell.
like fly backwards,
Yeah.
yeah. And he had the
ice.
like he put the missile up on the little micro machine so it like poked up into their foot.
Oh no, that was when he put like the tar on the steps and he like stepped on the nail.
No, he put micro machines on the stairs and like one of the ones was a little rocket one with a truck with a rocket on it.
Oh,
He
so
put the
it went
rocket
right
up so it would go up someone's foot.
Yeah. No, it's some fucked up shit. Like, I know these guys are bandits, and honestly, they are kind of. I almost want to say they're like mentally disabled. Because
Yeah,
no
yeah.
bandits are that bad. And basically, Kevin, who's a sociopath, is taking advantage of them and basically torturing these poor fucks.
Yeah, like they don't know any better except to go through the house rather than like back out the front door.
Right.
So like their only instinct is to just like keep going, and he knows this, and he's like
And he's taking advantage
they're
of it.
feeding
100%.
him. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like he's getting off on torturing them.
yeah, exactly.
Like he could even didn't he call the police like right at the end after he finished torturing them?
Yeah, but the phones were out in their house, so he had to run to the neighbor's house,
Okay.
which was the whole
rope
thing, yeah, which was a
treehouse.
whole different story.
A whole other thing, which at this point there were so many things that could have killed these guys, and he caused them some serious harm. And honestly, in today's time, those robbers definitely could have sued the McAllisters,
Oh yeah,
and they probably would have won and taken all their money legally. So my question to you is, have I ruined Home Alone for you now?
I always knew Home Alone was a fucked up movie, and it's a tradition for us to watch the first one on Christmas Eve and the second one on Christmas Day. So I haven't watched it yet this season, but I have seen that movie probably 20 times.
Yeah.
And I know how fucked up it is.
Yeah.
So my next one is another psychological thriller, but also in a kind of a darker comedy way. And I'm
Okay.
talking about Jingle All the Way
Fuck yes.
with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I've been so excited
and
to talk about
Sinbad.
this movie.
This is also another tradition for us. We watch this every season.
Oh yeah. Got
And-
to.
Even though it has a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes, I love this
That's
movie.
a lie. That's a lie. That
It's-
movie's so great.
It's good,
so great.
yeah. I can't find anything wrong with it.
What's the guy that got murdered by his wife?
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman. God, he's so good in this movie.
He is. So I'm going to convince you that this is a psychological thriller / dark comedy.
Okay.
And the movie starts out with Arnold, aka Howard, in the movie. He's a
He has
business.
the lamest names in movies.
Yeah. What was his name in True Lies?
Harry.
Yeah. It's always like a really
H.
American name for this guy that like he's never been able to pull off an American accent. He doesn't even try.
No, he doesn't. He really doesn't. Oh God. And they don't even explain that he's like from Austria. It's just like normal, hardworking American man Howard.
Exactly. Nobody believes this guy's American.
He's like, I'm from Chicago. Ow. What are you doing?
So Howard is a businessman who is preoccupied with everything that's going on in his own life. He forgets the meaning of Christmas, and from there it basically takes a much darker turn from what's on the surface.
Yeah.
So Harold becomes obsessed with getting this toy for his son, young Anakin Skywalker. I think
The only other movie he's in, right?
a lot of people forget that he's in that movie. But yeah, I think it's the only two movies he's in.
God.
And then he became a drug addict or something. So on his trek to get this toy for his son, which he is obsessed over. He kind of teams up with Sinbad, and him in itself he's like a deranged postal carrier, because I have a theory, and this theory has been backed up by some people on the internet that I read recently.
Okay.
That Sinbad is not a postal carrier, but a mentally deranged mental patient.
You know what? The only reason I believe this is because of that It's Always Sunny episode where Dennis thinks he gets taken to an insane asylum and Sinbad is there.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So I'm thinking, like, what kind of postal carrier actually carries his bag around, like, when he's off duty? And Sinbad has his bag with him constantly.
Did he say he was off duty?
Well, he never...
He could be just taking breaks, because it's like an up north thing. Like, up here, there's mail carriers with, like, straight up bags. It's crazy.
Yeah, but the movie takes place over the course of a night and then an entire day. Like, from morning until the end of the night. Sinbad has his satchel the entire time. And my theory is that Sinbad is not a mail carrier, but he's carrying bombs in the sack, posing as a mail carrier.
So you think he's like an Al-Qaeda guy or what?
I think he's like a Ted Kaczynski guy. Like, he gets off on bombing people, and this is kind of like his way to blend in.
Yeah, but he's not a very he doesn't have like the Ted Kaczynski like thing going on about him.
No,
he just seems like he's like if Ted Kaczynski was a homeless man.
If Ted
he's
Kaczynski
got the homeless vibe.
If Ted Kaczynski was a working blue collar man, this would be Sinbad. Less smart, probably graduated from the local community college or something, maybe. And
I think that's a stretch.
That might be a stretch. The
way he acts in the
movie,
the way he is in the movie, there's no way.
So this further proves my point when he and Arnold go to a radio station to try and get the toy. Sinbad pulls out a package, says it's a bomb, and gives it to the police officer. The police officer opens it, and for whatever reason, nobody dies in the movie, but, I mean, an explosion, there were like probably 20 people in there, including a cop. I'm going to say that he killed 20 people, because there's no way that everybody lived through that explosion.
Wait, is that when he throws it? Doesn't he throw the package? No, I thought when they open the package, it's like nothing.
No, one time it is. The first time it is nothing.
But wasn't that in the radio station?
No.
Because I remember him walking out of somewhere and he goes, "Is that a bomb?" "Was a bomb, I knew it." That's what he says.
Yeah, like when he's running out, but it is out of the radio station.
That's out of the radio station?
Yeah, like he's out of the radio station.
So he killed everyone in the radio station.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm going to say
how did we not notice this when we were kids?
Well, it does cut back to the cop, and he's just like in, bomb blackface. Like the bomb exploded, made in blackface.
Oh, like the dust. The dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they do kind of explain it. Yes.
Okay.
But I'm going to run with they edited that in later because it looked too dark. Him killing a bunch of people.
Yeah. Yes.
So throughout the movie, Harold and Sinbad, I don't even know Sinbad's character. I'm just going to call him Sinbad. They have run-ins with children, women, and they beat the shit out of them. They try to steal their toys. Harold eventually goes to Phil Hartman's house to try to steal his son's toy. And he realizes that that's not within the spirit of Christmas, and he wants to change or whatever. But all of this while he's giving beer to a reindeer. So I'm going to say that he kills the reindeer. The next scene, when he's leaving, he kills the reindeer. So at that point, Phil Hartman is like trying to sexually harass or sexually assault Arnold's wife. That was in a really creepy way. Again, making this movie a lot darker than it is on the surface.
Yeah, and what about the weird like Santa counterfeit toy ring.
Yeah. So they go to buy it on the black market, and they run into these Santas who are martial arts
Jacked.
masters.
And jacked.
Yes. I think one of them is a wrestler. Fuck, what's his name? He's bald. He was also in MacGruber.
All right, hold on.
For like one scene.
Big Show. Yeah, you're right. It is the Big Show.
Oh, it is the Big Show? I
it
thought
is
so.
the Big
I
Show.
thought he looked familiar.
Nice.
So they beat the shit out of
well,
each other.
that makes sense because he was huge.
Yeah. And Big Show basically kills Vern Troyer by punching him in the face on accident.
And Jim Belushi isn't he the Santa?
Yeah, he's like
that brings him there.
Yeah, he's like the HBIC. He's the leader of the Santas.
Yeah, it's very true.
So after all this shit, Arnold and Sinbad have a showdown at the end. Basically, hero against villain in the actual costumes.
Yeah.
Sinbad goes on to further prove my point that he's a fucking insane because he tries to kill Arnold multiple times, like legit kill him.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Arnold gets the toy and gives it to his son, and the little ungrateful shit gives it away immediately. And
he gives it to Sinbad, right?
He does give it to Sinbad, but he's going to jail, so that's not going to do anybody any good. He's not going to get to stop at his son's house.
Does he actually go to jail?
I think so. He bombed a radio station.
That's right. No, I think he does get arrested. My thing is, though, and this is kind of like a little twist off yours, I almost think that throughout the movie, Arnold has lost his mind because he's just hanging out with this other crazy person.
Yeah.
And everyone at this parade is clearly concerned, but it's like a showdown between the two crazy guys on the float.
Yeah. Are people watching that going like, oh my God, that's badass, or like, oh, that's fucking sad?
I think it's like the camera trick, how they'll show you like a really fucking dope scene, and then they'll show you like the same scene, but like how it actually looks.
Yeah.
And it's just like a bunch of guys just beating on each other, where it's not like cool, it's just sad. It's like homeless people fighting or something.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. So that's why I think this movie is a dark psychological comedy, I guess.
So is it more because of Sinbad, or do you think Arnold also is like his own motives or whatever?
Arnold definitely has his own reasoning for it being a dark movie, but the fact that Sinbad's in there and he takes it up a notch. And when I was reading about this, I saw some theories out there that were saying this gets deep into the rabbit hole, but they were saying that Sinbad's character is like a figment of Howard's imagination.
Yeah.
So
I could see that, honestly.
Yeah.
And Howard is actually the bomber.
Yeah. Yep. Interesting stuff.
I didn't think that this movie would have that many fan theories out there, but I like it. I
wonder if there's a
I also
subreddit.
believe this.
Jingle all the way.
So what is Phil I wonder what about Phil Hartman, though? Because he's trying to fuck his wife the entire movie and trying to eat her cookies.
Yeah. She throws the eggnog in his face.
Yeah.
But then they still live next door to each other. Like, how is that going to go? Somebody got to move?
Super awkward. He does try to kind of date rape her, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He starts touching her neck or her hair or something.
Yeah.
And then
isn't he married too?
No, he was divorced. He definitely was not married. He was either divorced or his wife had died or something.
So he gets the dead wife sympathy. He thought that would play off. And
at the beginning, towards the beginning, he's making cookies and all the women are just so impressed by him.
That's true. And Arnold's never home, so he's taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Doesn't he come over when she's when he's showering and stuff?
Does she? I want to say he. Yeah, I want to say he does, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Just sounds like something he would do.
He was a real scumbag in that movie. All right, awesome, man. Well, let's go ahead and switch over to our not Christmas movies that I think you. I'm going to say we're going to convince everyone that are Christmas or holiday movies.
Okay.
And I don't think we could have done this episode without mentioning one of the most debated movies of whether or not it's a Christmas movie, and that's Die Hard.
Okay.
Just to get it out of the way, I do think this is a Christmas movie, and there's plenty of articles out there who are adamant about it not being a Christmas movie, as well as being a Christmas movie.
I think Bruce Willis came out recently and said that it was not a Christmas movie.
Okay, so that's true, and recently a lot of people have been saying that it is not a Christmas movie as well, but almost every other, like if it's not a poll, anyone that you talk to, they say it's a Christmas movie. But
okay.
I'm still going to treat it as it not being a true Christmas movie to the masses and convince you why it has the fundamentals of a Christmas movie. So first off, aside from it taking place during Christmas Eve, we have the office holiday party. And sure, it could be replaced by any other time and no one would be the wiser, but it does have a pretty fundamental part of being a part of the holidays. We have a bunch of people stuck in a building together. You can't escape it. And that, my friends, is one of the most quintessential themes of the holidays in general, being fucking stuck with your family in a building that you can't leave because it is Christmas or it is Hanukkah or it is whatever. And we, of course, then have our anti-Christmas villain, Hans Gruber, who is essentially ruining Christmas by stealing and killing holiday partygoers.
Scrooge McDuck.
And also, like with Christmas movies, the triumph of family is what makes this important as the symbols of greed and consumerism, which is Ellis and Hans Gruber both meet their ends. So family wins. Greed, consumerism is bad. Let's not forget the idea of the holidays and what they're meant to be. It's about family and not about buying and stealing and doing whatever. But I mean, he only wants his family back together, and that's what wins the day. And that's basically what a Christmas movie is about. It's always kind of like that same story about how they don't really know what's important, and they find out what's important, and it's all family being together. Then, of course, we have the obvious things. We have the Santa hat on the dead terrorist, as well as the classic Santa saying written on his shirt, to which Alec Rickman reads, "Ho, ho, ho." All these little extra things is the director, John McTiernan, screaming, "This is a Christmas movie." And in fact, Steven D'Souza, who's the writer of Die Hard, has stated that it's 100% intended to be a Christmas movie. He even says that some of the plot points are similar to the 1954 film White Christmas. In fact, he says it's more of a Christmas movie than that. So this is the Christmas movie or not checklist. You have Die Hard and White Christmas. First category, takes place during Christmas holiday. Die Hard, entirely. White Christmas, final reel only. Setting is Christmas party. Die Hard, entirely. White Christmas, final reel only. Number of Christmas songs. There are 3. Let It Snow, Winter Wonderland, and Christmas in Hollis. White Christmas 2, White Christmas and Snow.
It's not looking good for White Christmas.
Yeah. Party venue is threatened. Die Hard, yes, by terrorists. White Christmas is by foreclosure. There is a broadcaster with a hidden agenda. German ringleader, Hans Gruber, Hitler, is for White Christmas. I don't know how. I've never seen the movie. Government incompetence. And there is a Christ-like sacrifice. So for Die Hard, it's running barefoot over broken glass.
Oof. And
some guy does a kind thing by upgrading some girl's train ticket. If I'm being, if we're, that's stretching it. So I think Steven D'Souza kind of has a bit of a point that, at least for the first parts, I mean, we have 3 Christmas songs over 2. The movie's entirely during Christmas Eve. And in fact, it kind of snows at the end of Die Hard when all the paper gets shredded and from the explosion, and it's just, and that's a Christmas miracle, snowing in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and Let It Snow is playing over the end credits.
That's right.
So it's hard to argue.
Okay, so what? I mean, are you on board? Or are you still?
Well, here's the thing. I had not seen Die Hard in its entirety until this morning, so I have it very fresh.
Get the fuck out
in my mind. Yes. And I'm looking for Christmas elements when I'm watching it because I knew you were going to do this. And I think it is 100% a Christmas movie.
Oh, okay. Tell me.
I think on the
tell me more.
IMDb, it should be listed Christmas and then action. Because first of all, he gets off the plane in LAX. He's got the Christmas gift for his kid.
Yep.
He's going to the Christmas party. The entire movie takes place at a Christmas party. All of the little Christmas nuances, like killing the guy, writing ho 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 on him.
You couldn't have that in any other scenario.
Yeah, like, what are you going to do that in July? It wouldn't make sense. What would you say then?
No, it wouldn't.
So, yeah, and then the Christmas song
Sun's
at
out,
the
guns
end.
out. Sun's out, guns out. That's what he would say. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I 100% agree. This is definitely a Christmas movie.
Also, I'm pretty sure he tapes the gun to his back with Christmas
He does, yes.
tape.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It is Christmas tape, yep.
Okay, so I mean, again, this is all of these things are just symbols for Christmas, and for people to say it's not a Christmas movie is just false.
And it would be one thing, like, you could convince me that it wasn't a Christmas movie if it was just a Christmas party and then, like, they never mentioned it, but they say Christmas time or Christmas spirit, or like they mention specifically Christmas probably 10 times throughout the movie to reiterate that, oh, it is during Christmas time, because I actually forgot.
That's right.
So I forgot, and then it's like, oh, where's your Christmas spirit? And I'm like, oh yeah, it is Christmas time. And then, like, it brings you back in.
A Christmas, Hans Gruber says, as a Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah. And it was like, 'Twas the Night in Nakatomi Tower or something like that.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. The black hacker dude. Yeah. I mean, thank you for agreeing with me, because this is great. And this is, again, by the way, is why fucking Gremlins is also a Christmas movie. So fuck you.
Okay. So I think by the end of this, I'm going to convince you that this movie actually is a Christmas movie. And I'm talking about Catch Me If You Can. The movie starts off on Christmas Eve, a rainy Christmas Eve in France at a prison in 1969.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it does like the flash forward thing, and then, it goes back over the whole situation that he got into. So just as Carl Hanratty, that's Tom Hanks' character, arrives with the extradition papers to take Frank Abagnale Jr., that's Leonardo DiCaprio's character, back to the United States, it happens on Christmas Eve. And from France in 1969, we segue back to Christmas 1964.
Nice.
Where Frank Abagnale Sr., Christopher Walken, is being honored at a banquet with a lifetime membership to the New Rochelle Rotary Club. Immediately following the banquet, we cut to a scene of a happy home, happy family, where Frank Jr. is dancing around the Christmas tree with his mom, and Frank Sr. is putting up decorations.
Yep. Total Christmas.
Basically, the first 20 minutes of the movie takes place during 1969 Christmas and 1964 Christmas.
And not even that, it's like the quintessential Christmas. Like, you're decorating a tree. You got Christmas. Was there Christmas music or no? I can't remember.
It was Christmas music, yeah.
Okay.
Dancing, putting up the tree, putting up the star, all that Christmas shit.
Going to like dinner with their family for like the Rotary Club, because that was dinner,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, this is not where the whole Christmas theme ends for the movie. Throughout the movie, it pops up several times where Frank Jr., Leonardo DiCaprio's character, telephones Carl Hanratty at the FBI headquarters, who's chasing him throughout the years. Every Christmas Eve, he gives him a call and they chit-chat about what's going on.
But does he make fun of him the first time?
He does make fun of him, and then Tom Hanks eventually makes fun of him back, because they both have nobody to talk to, and he's out hunting him, and he's
Isn't
out
his
running from him.
Daughter dead? Isn't that the whole thing?
Tom Hanks? I think I don't remember.
Maybe not. But that's the whole reason he never sees his daughter. That's why he's always working or whatever.
I think so, yeah. He says in the movie that he's working so he could give his agents like Christmas Eve with their families, but in reality, he doesn't necessarily have anyone to go home to. Or so they call each other, and then eventually, like towards the end, the last conversation they have on Christmas Eve is basically Leo's character pretty much begging Hanks to like stop the investigation, like stop coming after him, and Hanks says no, he can't do that. And it just so happens, fast forward to 1969 Christmas Eve, it basically goes back to the beginning of the movie where Frank has him in custody, and they're going to the airport, I think, or they're at the airport, and Leo breaks away.
Yeah, but you forget like the part where Frank gets arrested, and it's like the people are singing.
Yeah,
and it's like nice, and it's got like the snow, and there's like the big tree, and yeah, it's just like I guess like hymns or whatever. I don't know what we really call those. Like
yeah,
and everything's like super Christmassy, but it's also like fucking just sad. Well, there's like a lot of sad scenes in this movie, honestly.
yeah,
Especially with his dad when he's like, hey, call mom and we'll go or whatever, when he sees his dad at like the bar. Like on Christmas. Wasn't it on like Christmas or whatever?
Yes. Yeah, it was. I think it was right around Christmas, maybe Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
But at the end is like the saddest part of it all, where
yeah,
Frank escapes, and he goes to his mother's house and basically finds that she's remarried, has like kids with,
like, completely replaced him.
Yeah, and like never gave him a second thought. And this happens on Christmas Eve, and he basically goes into custody after that. They find him at his mom's house.
It's kind of weird because it does like the whole scene in not the beginning, but the beginning when he's a kid and his life is good, where his parents are together, and it's nice. It's kind of like redone when she's like living with the fucking rich dude.
Yeah.
And it's like now he's seeing the life that he did have.
Yeah.
On Christmas. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it's fucked.
Yeah. So the entire, I would say the entire movie revolves around scenarios that happened around Christmas time.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it's a Christmas movie. I think it's a really fucked up Christmas movie.
Definitely. Yeah. It's definitely not a happy Christmas movie.
No. I mean, the movie has plenty of comedy and funny stuff, but I mean, it's pretty real and it's pretty sad, honestly.
Great movie, though.
Oh, yeah. It's fantastic. I love it. Also, great main theme by John Williams.
Yes. Oh, my God. That is a great score.
That's a crazy movie, too.
It is.
I can't believe that's a fucking real story.
Yeah.
But have you seen what the real guy looks like?
No.
Like at 16, he looked like he was 30 years old. So I believe.
Oh, that must have been why he pulled it off.
Yeah.
Because Leo still, even though Leo, I think, was in his 20s when he did that, late 20s, he still looked like he was 16.
Yeah, he looks super young.
So he couldn't pull off a 30-year-old.
All right, Kevin, when I think of a Christmas movie, for the most part, it takes place during the holiday season. Not only does that involve snow, it involves lights, Christmas trees, and the idea of family. And I'm talking about Batman Returns.
Jeez. This is going to be a stretch for me.
It's not going to be, because I'm going to tell you why. This may be one of the heaviest themes within Batman Returns for Christmas, a Christmas theme, which is family. And it is especially so when it comes to the Penguin. He's abandoned by both his mom and dad, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman. He has an obsession of visiting his parents' graves, coming into his family's legacy despite them abandoning him. And at the end of the day, the Penguin wants a sense of belonging, which I think everyone wants, especially during the holidays. Plus, with the Batman movies, I mean, it always comes down to family, considering Bruce Wayne is without his parents as well. And despite their differences, the very existence of the Penguin and Batman are representations of being alone during the holidays. This whole Batman Returns movie, it's a blockbuster feigned as an indie movie about being alone during Christmas.
Damn.
Because it's not just, I mean, it's not the stereotypical Christmas movie. It's a Christmas movie made for those who don't have family and the struggle of basically getting through the holiday season with no one but themselves. Even not just Batman and Penguin, but even Selena Kyle, Catwoman, when she gets home, she says, "Honey, I'm home. Oh, I forgot I'm not married." So this is literally her way to cope with being alone during the holidays by living a fake life of happiness. Her house is like full of stuffed animals and just things that normally, I guess, the way it looks visually is happy. It's of someone who lives a pretty good life, but she lives a miserable life. She works for a horrible human being, which is Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
And she gets killed by him. And speaking of which, obviously when she dies, her, or quote unquote dies, this all changes and she's completely against being happy with a man, family during Christmas time. So that's her way of coping, is just kind of destroying it. Batman's way is to go after Selena Kyle to save her. Like Penguin's is to, you know, I guess live up to whatever family or get revenge for not being with his parents during the holiday times like everyone else in Gotham is. That's why he's obsessed with taking away the children from people's families. Obviously, these are extreme versions of things that happen during Christmas, but at the end of the day, it is still about people that are alone and just being able to get through, you know, a time where most people are with their families. And this makes total sense because when it comes to Tim Burton, that he would make a Christmas movie like this. And our 1A villain, which is Christopher Walken's Max Schreck, is a hybrid of evil Santa Claus because he has his whole business is that department store where he slings presents of all kinds.
Yeah.
And then he's also kind of Mr. Scrooge because he's essentially the symbol of people not being do-gooders during the holiday season. In fact, Catwoman actually, before she kills him, even refers to him as Santa Claus. That's what she calls him.
Yep. Yeah, she does.
And I mean, aside from like the actual story elements, we have Christmas showpieces during the lighting of the tree ceremony.
Yeah.
We have the giant Christmas present exploding with the revealing all the Penguins goons. And then just normal things like Alfred buying Christmas gifts for Bruce, I guess. I don't know why he would be Christmas shopping. The guy has like everything.
What can Alfred get? What can Alfred afford that Bruce doesn't have already?
Yeah, that's right. They even have a scene with Catwoman and I think it was just when Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle, but with mistletoe, and she mentions that how if you eat it, it's poisonous, and it's just all of the Christmas things like mistletoe and presents and trees and lights and snow. It's kind of weird because it makes, if you remember from the 1989 Batman, it's very dreary. It's very like gangster era feeling.
Yeah.
And this one, although it's dark, you just have all those bright things that are showcased with the movie. Like everything else is dark, and then you have Christmas trees and Christmas lights and like pure white snow. And even Bruce Wayne's last line of the movie is "Merry Christmas, Alfred, goodwill toward men and women." That's the last line of the movie.
Nice.
So this is 100% a movie about people being alone during Christmas, and it may not be a completely orthodox Christmas movie, but it is still a Christmas movie nonetheless.
Okay. I think that's pretty accurate, I would say.
Was that a bit of a stretch? I don't know.
No, because I think you're right. You know, you have Batman, like the regular Batman, and you have Batman Returns with the Christmas element. It definitely feels like Batman, but like a Christmas themed sequel.
Yeah, which I dig.
Oh yeah,
I actually really love Batman Returns. I like the Tim Burton Batman. I don't know if you're a big fan of them.
I'm not a fan of them, but I think I like the second one more than I like the first one.
Yeah, that seems to be most people, honestly. I think the second one critically also did much better than the 89.
Oh, did it?
One. I think so, yeah.
Okay. So my last one that I think 100% is a Christmas movie. And again, I got to bring up Chris Columbus. And
it is 3 movies, right? 3 movies somewhat that he's involved in, 2 that he directed and 1 that he almost directed.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not going to pick one movie out of this series. I'm going to say this entire series is a Christmas series. I'm talking about Harry Potter.
All right.
So I'll go over each movie and the scenes that take place during Christmas, and we'll talk about it at the end. So,
Okay.
Sorcerer's Stone, the first movie. First off,
That one's 100% a Christmas movie.
yes,
that
you
one is
see
like
Hogwarts covered in snow, which gets me fucking hyped for Christmas.
it does. It really does.
Like Hogwarts covered in snow, like I would put that on my wall, like a picture of that.
By the way, how many I've always wanted to be in the Great Hall during Christmas time.
Oh, I know. It looks so
God.
awesome.
It does.
So during the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry and Ron hang back at Hogwarts for Christmas, and Harry finally gets some presents. And you see Ron, like, Harry comes out of the room, and Ron says Happy Christmas. Harry says Happy Christmas, which is weird.
Yeah,
because
Happy Christmas.
That's weird.
Not Merry Christmas.
But
That's
still.
some British shit. That's some British shit.
It is. And it actually is a Happy Christmas for Harry for the most part. It's the Christmas where he gets the invisibility cloak from Dumbledore, and he gets a sweet sweater from Ron's mom, Molly.
That's right. The H sweater.
So, yes.
I do find it kind of strange that everyone went home except for Ron and, well, obviously Harry because he has no family, but wasn't. I mean, Ron has a big fucking family.
Yeah, but they were
spending
in, God, what were a different
Romania.
country. Romania, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Visiting Bill, yeah.
That's right.
So, Chamber of Secrets. This year, the trio all stay back at Hogwarts for Christmas just so they can spy on that asshole Malfoy. And
That
this
happened during Christmas?
Yeah, it happened during Christmas break.
The
So
Polyjuice Potion?
yes, so they start brewing the Polyjuice Potion right around like Thanksgiving time, like, you know.
Right.
But the Polyjuice Potion scene, like when they actually take it, actually happens like right like during Christmas Eve or some like Christmas Eve dinner or something.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why there's a big feast going on.
Okay.
So you have that whole scene. Hermione turns into a cat. You know, that's the
Has nothing to do with Christmas.
I know.
Has nothing to do with Christmas.
Christmas miracle. So then Prisoner of Azkaban, again covered in snow. Harry sneaks into Hogsmeade.
Yeah, so hyped for that.
Yeah, it's a great scene. Snowball fights. Like, what else is synonymous with Christmas but snow and snowball fights? Except for if you live in Arizona like me.
Sad.
And then Order of the Phoenix. You have the whole crew back together. The Weasleys, Harry, Sirius, everyone's back together. It's just a good time for everybody.
Yeah, it's like true, like get together.
Family, yeah, like hang
Yeah.
out, yeah. And there's decorations all over the place, and it seems like Molly actually did something.
And that's basically where the Christmas time ends, right?
Well, there is a Christmas scene in Deathly Hallows. It's not an upbeat scene, but I'm gonna go ahead and count it as a Christmas scene. It's
When they're
where
in a tent?
no, it's where Harry and Hermione, after Ron leaves, where they go into Godric's Hollow, and Hermione realizes that it was Christmas Eve, and then it strikes midnight, and she says, "Oh, it's Christmas." So they take a minute to go to Harry's parents' graves, and it's a super somber moment, but again, a Christmas theme in the movie.
But I think it's more of like Christmas that just happens to be around. Like I'll agree with you. I think Sorcerer's Stone has a lot of the Christmas elements in it.
It does.
And I think that personally, for me, I think that may be the only thing. There's like certain scenes in Prisoner of Azkaban that I would agree with, but Sorcerer's Stone definitely has the most Christmas stuff in it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple like Half-Blood Prince doesn't really have a Christmas scene. The Christmas scene in Prisoner of Azkaban is kind of weak. You know, it's only the Hogsmeade thing. But just the fact that the culmination of all of these Christmas scenes seems to be that Christmas is what drives the plot forward the most in all of the movies. Because it always seems like something happens during Christmas, and that's pretty much remembered throughout the entire series. So I think that's why it's more of a Christmas series, because it seems to focus on Christmas and the things that happen during Christmas time.
That's true. It's like the one time when they have like a break from classes where they can do non-class related things.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I think it helps your argument that it always seems to be marathoning on USA during Black Friday, early December time.
So here's the thing. We watched the series. We usually watch it in October. And because I also think that it's somewhat of
it's a
Halloween movie.
It is.
So we watch it during Halloween, and last week we were like, you know what? We should watch Harry Potter because I also think it's a Christmas movie. So we started watching Harry Potter again. We got through the first two. We're going to watch the second two this weekend. So we're going to have watched it twice this year.
That's not a bad thing, though. They're great films.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin. Well, before we wrap things up, I have one last question for you. Which popular TV series would you like to see a holiday special for?
Okay.
Game of Thrones,
Ooh.
Breaking Bad, or Homeland?
Jesus Christ. I would like to see a Homeland because I want to know how the fuck they're going to do that.
Yeah, it's
what is
because
like
that lady Carrie has like literally no break.
Yeah, like what are they going to do? Are they going to bring Saul in to be Santa Claus and they're at the party?
Saul's Jewish.
He's got a beard. That's true. He is Jewish. He's got a beard though.
That instantly qualifies you as Santa.
He's got a beard and he's older.
So are you going with Homeland?
I would like to see a Homeland. I mean, I would like to see any of those as a Christmas special because Game of Thrones Christmas special would be ridiculous. But it already fits the theme.
Do you think it would be like a happy time? Or not a happy time?
Probably not. Nothing in Game of Thrones is really ever happy.
That's true. I would want like one happy Christmas episode. Like super cheesy, where like everyone's hanging out.
Doing
like
a white elephant or something.
Like basically like the first episode, like where they all have like the feast in
Oh yeah.
In
Whiterun.
I was about to say Stark Tower. In Tony Stark's mansion. No, but like that, but without any like douchey things going on with like Lannisters. Like they're just having a good time. Like Tyrion's just like getting shit faced and like no one's judging.
What is the name of the town?
Winterfell.
I'm like Whiterun, Winterhold. What is it?
Those are both from Skyrim.
Yeah, I know. I knew that couldn't be right.
That's great. Yeah, I'm going Game of Thrones on this one.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see a ridiculous, cheesy Game of Thrones holiday.
Yeah,
movie.
like I would want Bran having like breaking bread with like White Walkers.
Yeah, like everybody chills out for a second. You know, all the fighting stops. There's a little truce.
It's kind of like World War I. You know?
Yeah.
Like everyone like builds a Christmas tree and goes across the trench and like gets fucked up for the night, and then it's back to war the next day.
Yeah, yeah,
that's what
nice.
I want.
Yeah,
that's a little change of pace. Cool. All right, guys. Well, as you know, this is the final episode of Wicked Hot Movie Mayhem for 2018. Kevin, I have to say I'm so happy the way this show has come out. I'm so glad for everyone that's listened throughout the year. We truly, truly appreciate it. We will be back mid-January for some more content and some pretty interesting, I think, topic ideas that we have in the pipeline.
Yeah, I'm super excited for what we have. We have a ton of stuff that we're planning on doing, so we're gonna come back in January super strong and ready to go.
Yeah. What do you have anything to say about this year and the show?
I'm really proud of how the show has progressed from the start because I thought the first couple episodes were really good, and every time we have a new episode, I'm like, damn, I thought that was a good episode. I thought we covered some good stuff because I'm always learning on this show. It's like I'm learning along with the listener too. Like all the stuff that we cover. I mean, I'm excited for next year. Yeah.
All right, guys. So gear up for more stuff. I think we may be dropping a trailer if I'm not wrong, just to remind you guys that we will be coming back mid-January. Date is tentative right now, but as always, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to get your Wicked Hot Movie Mayhem updates. We will be back in January. Enjoy the holidays, guys. We'll see you around.
Bye, everybody.